Hello there, my lovely people. Hello, hello, hello. I went live talking about relationships, and I don't know what happened. Actually, I see that somebody took the plug, and then our Wi-Fi was disconnected. I was trying to connect with our modem, which as well was just doing whatever. So if you are watching this video, I suggest that firstly you watch the part one of this whole thing before I got disconnected, and then you can come to part two. So what I was talking about relationships and marriages, and what exactly makes these things very difficult for us. So here's the thing, guys. I spoke a bit about relationships. Actually, I spoke about relationships, and I was talking now about a setup of a marriage, that many people right now do not see the need of having a husband or having a wife, because the roles that have been defined by culture for us are no longer working for us. Many of us are experiencing so much turmoil in relationships because of the things that we have been taught to believe about ourselves. Now, I remember there is a picture. Most of you know about that picture. It's a picture of an umbrella, which the first umbrella is Christ. The second umbrella is the husband. The third umbrella is is the wife. And then the other umbrella, the last one, is children. And this is coming from a Christian background, where people have believed that that Christ should be the center of the marriage, right? That is absolutely wonderful, knowing that you have somebody who's got your back in everything, right? Then now, with me particularly, I have a problem with that structure, because it's not entirely true for everyone, and I will tell you why. So the first structure was the husband. Then the husband must what and people can always define this differently. Some people believe that your husband must be the one who leads you into marriage, into the word of God, who leads you spiritually and all of that, right? And then the wife then must submit to whatever that the husband is saying, whatever that you believe about that umbrella thing. And what when we say godly marriage, what is it that we believe? So anyway, that was then people saying that. And when we got into marriage with my husband, that was our problem. That is what we were fighting about. Can you believe that? I felt like my husband is not leading me spiritually. And then he was also believing that I'm not doing what a wife is supposed to do, which is cooking, cleaning, and all those things. So we were always fighting. And guess what? We were not fighting ourselves, but we were fighting beliefs that we have been taught about this institution that we were in. And my husband and I, we dated before, and those things were not a problem. But as we get into marriage, remember, when you get to a workplace, when you are working, for instance, you are working a company called Malebu, and they are getting there at whatever time, and they can work from home and all that. Then you go and work at the company called Morris. Then Morris company, they have rules and regulations that no, you are working from this time until this time. You need to show up every day. So it is like marriage and relationships. So relationships are not governed by anything. We would try to say yes, we want our relationships to be godly while we are still, it's a courtship or whatever they call it, but that is not governed by any law. But then when you get into the law of marriage, then you get into the law that says you need to do what? You need to do 3, you need to do 4. And if you are not doing those things, it means that your marriage is not godly or whatever. So that was the problems, that some of the problems that we have, that I was expecting, and culture and religion creates expectation. Now, I was expecting my husband to do that, and he was also expecting me to do certain things. And now, when we were fighting, we were not fighting about our needs. We are fighting about the model of the world we are living in. Until we decided, we decided to define who we are. You see, this is very important, defining yourself of who you are beyond the boundaries of religion and culture. Because if you don't know yourself, and I'm not meaning things like, I'm Xhosa, I'm Tswana, I mean yourself that you are 99% spirit and 1% a body, a form. That's who you are. And sometimes many of us, we then define ourselves with what we are having, the cars that we are having, the money that we are having. So much that there are today wives who are earning more than the husband, and that causes turmoil in marriages. I know of I've watched one of a YouTuber. She is very, very famous. I don't know the channel, but she talked about her divorce, that the reason why they divorced, the husband cheated on him with somebody who was frying meat by the street. And then that person who was frying meat by the street was earning less than the husband. So the husband always had a problem that you are earning more than me, to such a degree that even the wife took the money that she had and said, I am giving you this card, I will work, but this will be your money, so that she makes him feel at home with whatever that was currently happening. So most men were taught that you need to provide for your family, and whenever they cannot provide for their family, they feel like their manhood is has been tampered with, and whatever it is, and now they do not want to be in such relationships. That is why there is always a friction between independent women. There are men who love independent women, and they love how they are, but there are other men who are saying, oh, independent women, they won't cook for you, because that's what they have defined women as. And we need to get to the point where we can define ourselves that even though I am not working, who am I? If I am a man who's not working, who am I? If you are going to define yourself as a provider, what type of provision are you providing? I hope that is English. Yes. What is it that you are providing as a man? Do you mean that you can provide something that I can also provide? And not even in a competition type of a thing. And there are other men who are saying that I'm going to marry a wife and I don't want my wife to do anything. A friend of mine, Hector, spoke about this, and I loved it because it was coming from a man. That why is it that as men we want to tame? It's like you are taming somebody. You say, I don't want my wife to do anything. And there are other people actually who are flexible, who are saying that I don't want my wife to go to work because she has been wounded in that area, but she can start her own businesses, but I can provide in everything. But there are other ones who are saying, no, when you sit at home, you look at the kids, you look after the kids, you look at, you take care of the household, and then now just come and provide you with money, and then after that it's sex, and then that's it. Dr. Miles Monroe said it, that now men, they don't even know how to deal with women, because women now, they know how to even say, I feel like you don't love you, you don't love me. Because in the olden days, women were not telling who feeling what. There is even this thing that we are still even doing right now, saying that when you are angry as a woman, you are angry from your part, this part up there, but down there you are not ready, you are not angry, which also exposes us as women that we are constituting that people can be raped. Yeah. Because if somebody's not feeling well, or they are angry or whatever, why can't we make a model where we're going to help both husband, equip both wife and husband how to resolve their issues, and not say, when a woman, your angerness does not, it does not really matter. A man must come here and must have sex with you, and that's it. So those are the things that today we are fighting with in marriages. And marriages, we're seeing people working out. I saw a friend of mine working out from a luxurious home with everything, and she said, I am going to start afresh. I will start with my own money. This type of a mess I do not want to be in, because men were taught that you need to go there, fetch the money, and come back home. Some men, I'm not talking about all men. Some men are never home. They are never home with their wife. They don't know what is going on with their wife. They don't know anything about their wives. They are just there, sitting there, making money with their friends. There was a time when I went with my husband to Chisanyama, the one in Midrand. And my husband asked me, these people, where are their girlfriends and their whatever? It was a bunch of men, like a lot of men sitting there alone looking at other women. You will find that those men were married. Some of them were married there, but they can't take their wives out because of that cultural thing. Today we are having, I have been told this thing for a very long time, and I'm not succumbing to that as a woman you need to dress up, as a married woman you need to dress up a certain way and all these things. And I said, if my husband understands my dressing, let it not affect anyone else. And if my husband understands why am I dressing a certain way, then let no one come into us. So what do? We need to define who we are beyond the boundaries of the walls of religion and culture. Who are we? So that we can. And this was even said by one of my friends, Elijah Mashubelele, previously known as Elijah Padi, and he said, we have to define ourselves as people and what it is, the culture. You'll find out, like myself, I'm married to a Shona person. My husband is Shona, and what they were doing in their culture or what they are still doing in there, I have no idea of. And now, as a woman, when you come into that, then you need to learn, automatically learn that this is now your culture, and you have to do even things that are contradicting you. No, we need to define ourselves first before we can learn other people's cultures, and define and sit down, men and women sitting down and talking about what it is that makes them who they are, they know who they are. And this goes back to personal development. If you are not developing yourself, if you are not investing in your personal development, guess what? You are not growing. And sometimes, now that women have been given a chance to empower themselves, women are having, 70% of my clients are women. 70% of my clients are women, and 30% are men. Some men do not believe that they need to be doing these things. And you, as a woman, will be talking and doing all these things and, working on yourself while you are with a person who's not working on himself. And now the expectation comes that if I'm working on myself again, I need you to work on yourself. But then that also creates an imbalance, because if me and you are not growing together, guess what? I'm either leaving you. There are people who left each other after 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, because they felt like, I am above this person. We don't understand each other. So here is my advice. I'm taking off my head as a coach, and I'm giving advice that let us work on ourselves. Let us define who we are as people. Let us define who we are first. Before you get into a relationship, define who you are and what it is that you want. When you are in that relationship, ask questions. If you want marriage, ask that person, are you intending to marry me? What would be the issue that right now you can't marry me? Because there are people who are just sitting and they don't know, why is this guy, they're just making an assumption that he's not marrying me because he doesn't have money. That wouldn't be the reason. If a man wants to marry you, he will marry you anyway. So that is what I'm saying. Define yourself first, get into a relationship, talk to that person in the relationship. What is it that you believe about monogamy? Because other people, they don't believe that you have to be in a relationship with one person. Other people believe that you can have your state, which we call, the main man, or the main girlfriend, or the main wife, or whatever. And then there are other so you need to understand, is that person believing like that? And is that what you can handle as a person before you move over to a marriage? And in a marriage setup, when you are growing, do not leave your partner behind. I have a lot of men who are coming to me and asking me, can you please mentor my girlfriend? And my girlfriend is not working on herself. She's because you did not make this conversation when you were still there, when you're entering a relationship. So when you enter a relationship, speak about what is it that you want. You want a woman who is what? I want a woman who's domesticated, who can cook and clean. If that's what you want, it's okay. Get that woman. Now, now some other people, they get somebody who's not domesticated, and they want to change them because they believe that they can change people. There's no project change a person here. It's you who has to say, this is what I want, and then this is what I believe in. If when now you believe in something different and we cannot reach a place where we can say, yes, I will compromise this, I will do that, then let me leave you and find somebody else. There's an abundance of men and women out there who are waiting to marry you for that very thing that you want. You can get it. So that's it from me for today. I did 2 videos. If you are watching this, please go and watch the other video. Love you so much. I will see you next time.